The fluorescent glow of the bioluminescent plants cast eerie shadows on the hull of the interstellar research vessel, Odyssey. Its sleek design cut through the orbit of an uncharted planet, its crew bustling with anticipation of the first contact with alien life. Dr. Eliana Miro, a renowned xenobiologist, adjusted her glasses as she peered at the live feed from the planet's surface. Her heart raced, not only at the prospect of discovery, but also because of her secret mission regarding the newly contacted species. Eliana turned to her colleague, Lieutenant Jasper Fields, who monitored the communication systems. "Any response to our greetings yet?" Jasper shook his head, his eyes glued to the screen. "Nothing yet, but their technology suggests they received our signals. It's only a matter of time." As if on cue, the communication console beeped loudly, a sign that a transmission was incoming. Eliana and Jasper exchanged a look of excitement before the audio crackled to life. "Welcome, Odyssey. We are the Aari. We accept your invitation for contact," a melodic voice echoed through the speakers. The captain, a seasoned explorer named Lucius Grant, entered the room. "Prepare for landing. Dr. Miro, you're with me. Let's hope they're friendly." The Odyssey descended towards the planet, its engines humming softly. The landscape was a tapestry of vibrant colors, with towering structures that shimmered like mirages. Upon landing, Eliana and her team were greeted by a delegation of Aari, who were humanoid but with translucent skin through which flowed light, like the bioluminescent flora of their world. Their leader, a tall figure with luminous eyes, introduced herself as Miara. "We are honored by your visit," she said, her voice resonating with an ethereal quality. During the formal introductions, Miara's gaze lingered curiously on Eliana. "You carry many questions, Dr. Miro," she noted, tilting her head slightly. Eliana nodded, impressed by Miara's perceptiveness. "Yes, I am particularly interested in learning about your species' reproduction. It's fundamental to our studies." Miara smiled, a glow briefly intensifying around her heart. "It is unlike anything your science has documented. Would you like to observe our mating ritual? It is quite intense." Eliana's eyes widened, a mix of professional curiosity and personal intrigue lighting up her face. "I would be honored." That evening, under the silver light of the planet's twin moons, Eliana was led to a sacred grove. The air was filled with a sweet, intoxicating aroma. Miara and another Aari, Silas, stood at the center of a circle of stones, their bodies beginning to glow rhythmically. Eliana watched, fascinated as the two Aari came closer. Their hands touched, and a surge of light flowed between them. It wasn't just physical. Eliana could feel the emotional and psychic energy in the air. The Aari didn't just mate. They connected on a deep, almost spiritual level, sharing memories, sensations, and emotions. The intensity of the connection was overwhelming, and Eliana could barely breathe as the air around her seemed to pulsate with energy. As the ritual concluded, Miara approached Eliana, her glow dimmed to a soft shimmer. "What you witnessed is the essence of our being, the total and profound union of spirits." Eliana was speechless, her mind racing to process the experience. This is incredible. You do this every time?" Miara nodded. "It is the way of our people. Each union is a celebration of life and connection." Back on the ship, Eliana sat in her quarters, her mind still buzzing from what she had seen. Her mission was not just scientific. She had to report her findings to the human authorities, who were keen on understanding the potential of such a connection. She started her report, her thoughts a whirlwind of scientific curiosity and unexpected emotion. What she had learned could change everything, not just for her, but for all of humanity. As she encoded her observations, she realized she was only scratching the surface. There was much more to learn, and Eliana was just getting started. Eliana couldn't shake off the vivid images of the Aari mating ritual as she prepared for another day on their planet. Her sleep had been restless, her dreams a tangle of light and emotion, mimicking the Aari's union. She wondered about the deeper implications of such a connection, both scientifically and personally. Could humans ever achieve something similar, or was it beyond their biological capabilities? As she walked through the corridors of the Odyssey, Heading towards the lab, her communicator buzzed. It was Jasper, his tone urgent. "Eliana, you need to see this. We've picked up some anomalies in the planet's atmosphere. It might affect our stay." In the lab, Jasper showed her the readings. "Look at these energy spikes. They coincide with the Aari's rituals. It's as if the planet itself is responding to them." Intrigued, Eliana proposed a hypothesis. Could it be that their rituals are not just a form of reproduction, but also a way to interact with their environment? Maybe they're maintaining the planet's ecological balance. Determined to investigate this theory, Eliana and Jasper prepared for a field study, packing sensors and recording equipment. They ventured into the dense, glowing forests, guided by an Aari named Thalik, who seemed amused by their curiosity. "Your interest honors us," Thalik said, leading them to a clearing where the energy reading spiked. "Our rituals sustain not only our species but all life here. You call it anomaly, we call it harmony." Setting up their equipment, Eliana and Jasper monitored the energy flows. The data was astonishing, showing a complex interaction of biological and environmental energies that defied human understanding of ecological systems. Their research was interrupted by a sudden storm. The sky darkened, and violent winds swept through the forest, knocking down luminescent trees and scattering their glowing leaves. Thalik remained calm, his body glowing steadily as if to counteract the storm. "This is unusual," he remarked. "The planet is unsettled. It might be reacting to your presence, as it has never interacted with off-worlders before." Racing back to the ship with their equipment, Eliana felt a mix of excitement and fear. The storm was a stark reminder of the planet's power and mystery. Back on the Odyssey, Captain Grant was concerned. "We may need to consider leaving if these conditions worsen. I won't risk the crew." Eliana was torn. Leaving now would mean losing a rare opportunity to learn from the Aari and their unique connection with their world. "Give me 24 hours, she pleaded. "There's something here that could benefit us all, and I'm close to understanding it." Granted the time, Eliana worked non-stop, analyzing the data with Jasper. They discovered patterns that suggested the Aari's rituals did more than affect their environment. They stabilized it. "We need to share this with Miara," Eliana decided. "They might not be aware of how the planet is reacting to us." Meeting with Miara and other Aari elders, Eliana presented her findings. Miara listened intently, her expression unreadable. After a moment of silence, Miara spoke, her voice grave. "This revelation requires us to rethink our interaction. You have brought us valuable knowledge but also risk. We must find a balance." Agreeing to work together, Eliana felt a rush of relief mixed with responsibility. She was not just a visitor now. She was a participant in the life of this planet. As the meeting ended, Miara invited Eliana to join another ritual, this time as an observer up close. "To understand fully, you must experience our connection as nearly as an outsider can." Eliana accepted, her heart pounding with anticipation. She was about to witness the profound depths of Aari life once more, this time not just as a scientist, but as someone who might hold a key to their survival and coexistence. Eliana stood at the edge of the sacred grove, her senses heightened in anticipation of the ritual. The Aari around her moved with a grace that seemed to weave the very air into a tapestry of light and shadow. As the ritual commenced, she felt the energy swell, the atmosphere thickening with a palpable force that resonated deep within her core. Miara and Silas approached each other, their bodies radiating a spectrum of colors that danced and merged. Eliana watched, entranced by the display of unity that transcended physical boundaries. The energy fluctuations she had studied were manifest here in a brilliant display of bioluminescence and emotion. As the ritual intensified, Eliana felt an unexpected tear slip down her cheek, a tear not of sadness but of overwhelming awe and a profound sense of intrusion into a sacred moment. She realized she was witnessing not just a biological act, but a spiritual and ecological communion that defined the very essence of this alien culture. The ground beneath their feet hummed, a soft melodic vibration that seemed to harmonize with the ritual. Thalik, standing beside her, noticed her fascination. "You feel it, don't you?" he whispered. the heartbeat of our world, the breath of our forests. You are more connected than you know." Eliana nodded, unable to articulate her swirling emotions. The ritual concluded with a gentle wind sweeping through the grove, carrying whispers of ancient songs that the Aari claimed were the voices of their ancestors. After the ritual, Eliana approached Miara with a mix of reverence and scientific curiosity. "Your rituals, they're more than just reproductive. They bind you to your planet, to each other. They're essential to the fabric of your world." Miara smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "Yes, and now you have seen why we are so attuned to our environment. What you call anomalies, we call harmony. Our existence is a continuous dialogue with our planet." Determined to understand the scientific implications of what she had witnessed, Eliana spent the following days integrating her observations with the data collected. The Aari's bioenergetic fields had properties that could revolutionize human understanding of ecological and physiological interactions. With the storm having passed and the planet's atmosphere stabilizing, the urgency of departure lessened. Captain Grant, persuaded by Eliana's passionate arguments, agreed to extend their stay, allowing her to delve deeper into her studies. Eliana collaborated closely with Jasper and a team of Aari scientists, setting up experiments that measured the environmental impact of the Aari rituals. They discovered that these rituals not only reinforced the planet's ecological cycles, but also repaired them when necessary, a symbiotic relationship between species and habitat unlike anything documented in human history. One evening, as Eliana and Thalek reviewed the data in the lab, an alert sounded. A new storm was brewing, larger and more violent than the last. Thalek looked at Eliana, concern etching his features. "This is no natural storm. It's a reaction, perhaps a consequence of our deepening interaction." The team rushed to secure their equipment, battening down as the winds howled outside. In the midst of the chaos, Miara called a meeting. "We must perform a grand ritual, one that involves all of you," she declared. "It's a risk, but it may be our only chance to restore balance." Eliana understood the gravity of the situation. Participating in the ritual was not just a scientific opportunity. It was a chance to help save an entire world. She looked at her human colleagues, seeing her own resolve mirrored in their eyes. As they prepared to join the Aari in the grand ritual, Eliana felt a shift in her role from observer to active participant. The line between scientist and subject blurred as she stepped into the circle, ready to experience the full intensity of the Aari's life force, not just to witness it, but to be part of it. The skies roiled with dark clouds as the Aari and humans gathered in the ancient grove. The air was charged with electricity, the tension palpable as the storm brewed overhead. Miara stood at the center, her expression serene despite the chaos swirling around. She raised her hands, her voice carrying over the tumult, invoking the ancestors and the spirits of the planet. Eliana stood beside Jasper, her heart pounding in her chest. This was unlike any scientific endeavor she had ever undertaken. It was a leap into the unknown, blending her world with theirs in a ritual meant to heal a planet. As the ceremony began, the Aari started to chant, their voices harmonizing with the wind and rain. They moved in a complex, fluid dance, their movements synchronized with the natural forces around them. Eliana and the other humans joined in tentatively at first, guided by Thalek, who taught them simple motions and sequences. The ground vibrated under their feet, the energy rising through the soles of their shoes, as if the planet itself was responding to their collective call for balance. Eliana felt a rush of energy, her body resonating with a frequency that was both exhilarating and terrifying. As the ritual progressed, bioluminescent vines began to glow brighter, wrapping around the participants, binding them in light. The storm responded, the winds weaving through the trees, not as a destructive force but as part of the dance, part of the ritual. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck nearby, sending a surge of power through the ground. Everyone paused, their breaths held in unison. But Miara continued undeterred, her voice steady. "Do not fear," she called out. "Our ancestors guide us. The planet protects us." Encouraged, Eliana let go of her reservations, fully immersing herself in the experience. She moved with the Aari, her body and mind open to the energies swirling around her. She felt a connection not just to the people she danced with, but to the very essence of the planet itself. The storm peaked, the sky a cacophony of thunder and lightning, mirroring the intensity of their ritual. Then, as if in approval, the storm began to dissipate, the clouds parting to reveal the stars above. The Aari ceased their movements, their bodies glowing softly in the post-storm calm. Miara approached Eliana, a smile of gratitude and respect on her face. "You have embraced our world, and it has embraced you back. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new harmony." Eliana was overwhelmed, tears of joy and relief mingling with the rain on her face. She had not only witnessed, but participated in something miraculous. The data they would collect from this night would be invaluable, but the personal transformation she felt was beyond any scientific measure. In the days that followed, the planet remained calm, the atmosphere stable. The Odyssey's crew and the Aari worked together to monitor the ecological and atmospheric changes. The data was clear. The ritual had a profound effect on the planet's biosphere, enhancing and stabilizing it. Jasper approached Eliana one evening as they reviewed the data. "You know, I came here as a scientist, but I'm leaving with a bit of a mystic inside me. What we did, what we felt, it's changed how I see the universe." Eliana nodded, her eyes on the screens showing the thriving, luminous life of the planet. "It's more than science, Jasper. It's a reminder of how connected life is, across species, planets, even galaxies. We're not just observers, we're part of this cosmic web." As their time on the planet drew to a close, preparations began for the Odyssey's departure. Eliana spent her last day walking through the glowing forests, savoring the peace and beauty of a world she had helped heal. She knew she would carry this experience with her forever, a shining beacon in her life and career, a true symphony of light and life. As the Odyssey prepared for departure, Eliana found herself lingering by the viewing ports, gazing at the vibrant landscape of the planet now known to her, not just as a research subject, but as a living entity with which she had formed an unexpected bond. Her mind replayed the moments of the ritual, each memory a vivid burst of light and emotion, embedding itself deep within her. The night before departure, Miara visited Eliana aboard the Odyssey, an unusual occurrence as Aari seldom left their planet. She brought with her a small glowing orb, a seed from one of their bioluminescent plants. "This is a gift, not just of gratitude but of continuity," Miara explained, placing the luminescent seed in Eliana's palm. "It will thrive where warmth and care exist, much like the bond between our peoples." Eliana was touched, understanding the symbolic gesture. The seed was not merely a botanical specimen but a token of deep ecological and personal connections, a reminder of the responsibilities that came with knowledge and interaction. The following day, as the Odyssey broke orbit, Eliana stood in the lab, the seed safely secured in a growth chamber. Her thoughts were interrupted by an incoming transmission from Earth Command, querying about the mission's outcomes and the unusual extensions of their stay. She responded with a detailed report, highlighting the groundbreaking discoveries about the Aari's symbiotic relationship with their environment and the potential applications of such findings. However, she kept the more profound personal impacts to herself, feeling that some aspects of this mission transcended the confines of standard reports. In transit back to human space, Eliana spent her days analyzing the vast amounts of data collected, preparing papers and presentations that would surely ignite the scientific community with debates and discussions. Yet, in the quiet of her quarters, she nurtured the Aari seed, watching it grow, a living connection to a distant world. One day, Jasper knocked gently on her door, a data pad in hand. "I've been reviewing the environmental feedback loops we documented. There's something you should see." He showed her the patterns of energy exchange, more intricate and interconnected than any earthly ecological system. "I think we've only scratched the surface of what's possible in terms of planetary biomanagement," he mused. Eliana agreed, her mind racing with possibilities. "Imagine applying these principles on Earth, restoring ecological balances by learning from the Aari methods. It could revolutionize our approach to environmental crises. Their discussions often lasted late into the ship's night cycle, both aware that their findings had the potential to reshape human interactions with their own planet. The implications stretched beyond academia. They hinted at a new paradigm for living in harmony with nature. As the Odyssey neared Earth, Eliana prepared for the inevitable scrutiny and fascination that would follow their report. She rehearsed her presentations, refining each word to convey not just the science, but also the profound ethical considerations of such interactions. Upon landing, the reception was overwhelming. Scientists, policymakers, and the media clamored for details. Eliana stepped into the spotlight, her findings sparking a wave of excitement and curiosity about the Aari and their unique symbiosis with their planet. In the midst of conferences and interviews, Eliana often reached into her pocket to touch the Aari seed, now a small, glowing sprout. It served as a grounding reminder of the deep, intangible connections she had forged, not just between stars, but between spirits, a reminder that in the vast expanse of the cosmos, connections mattered at every level, shaping worlds and futures. As the fervor of public interest and scientific inquiry continued to swell, Eliana found herself at the forefront of a new interdisciplinary field, one that sought to integrate Aari ecological principles with human technology and conservation efforts. The potential for such a synthesis was vast, but so were the challenges. In her new office at the Earth Command Environmental Division, surrounded by screens displaying data from multiple worlds, Eliana collaborated with a team of experts from diverse fields. Together, they brainstormed how to implement Aari-inspired biomanagement systems on Earth, which was reeling from centuries of ecological neglect. One morning, she received a secure transmission from the Aari. It was Miara, her image flickering slightly on the screen. "Eliana, we have observed your efforts from afar. It is time we offer a more direct contribution," Miara proposed, her voice filled with the harmonious cadence that Eliana remembered so fondly. Eliana was elated. "We'd be honored to learn more directly from you. What do you have in mind?" "We wish to send a delegation to Earth to assist in your restoration projects. We believe a combined effort could accelerate your recovery and deepen our shared understanding," Miara explained. Over the following weeks, preparations were made to welcome the Aari delegates. Security protocols, environmental precautions, and scientific agendas were meticulously planned. The world watched in anticipation as the day of arrival drew near. The Aari spacecraft, unlike any human-made vessel, touched down gracefully in the designated zone. The delegates disembarked, their luminous forms shimmering slightly under Earth's sun. The sight was broadcast worldwide, inspiring awe and hope. Miara, leading the delegation, was greeted by Eliana and Earth's top officials. "Today marks a new chapter in our shared history," Miara addressed the gathered crowd, her voice broadcast globally. "Together we will heal this world as a testament to our potential for unity and stewardship." The Aari quickly adapted to their new roles on Earth, working alongside human teams. Their unique methods of environmental integration proved effective, with several pilot projects showing promising results. Deserts began to bloom, oceans cleaned, and forests regenerated at rates previously deemed impossible. Eliana, overseeing many of these projects, felt a profound sense of accomplishment and purpose. The work was exhausting, yet exhilarating. With each success, the bond between humans and Aari strengthened, a mutual respect for each other's knowledge and capabilities growing deeper. One evening, as Eliana walked through a regenerated forest, she paused to plant the now flourishing Aari seedling in the soil. It had grown into a sapling, its glow soft under the twilight sky. "May this be a symbol of our enduring collaboration," she whispered, her voice full of emotion. Months turned into years, and the Earth began to show signs of true recovery. Human societies adapted to new ways of living, inspired by Aari philosophies of balance and sustainability. The changes were not just ecological, but cultural, reflecting a broader shift towards respecting and nurturing the planet. Eliana, older and wiser, continued to lead with a gentle but firm hand. Under her guidance, Earth and its people embarked on a path not just of survival, but of thriving. The legacy of her first contact with the Aari was evident not only in the healthier planet, but in the transformed human spirit, ready to face the challenges of the future with hope and cooperation. As she retired from her active role, Eliana looked back on her journey, a journey marked not by the distances traveled across the stars, but by the bridges built between beings. The Aari seed, now a towering, luminous tree, stood as a beacon on Earth, a reminder of what could be achieved when worlds united for a common cause. Her heart was full as she passed the torch to the next generation, confident in their ability to continue what she had helped start.